They say no man ever survived the Devil's Road, but then again, no one ever said a word about what 3 women might do when they've lost everything and have nothing left to fear. The wind had teeth that morning. It bit through the wooden slats of Dust Creek's single street and carried the smell of gun oil and sweat. The town was awake but weary. Shop doors half open, a wagon wheel squeaking somewhere, a drunk snoring in the alley. Clara Boone stepped off the coach with the poise of a woman who'd already buried too many dreams. Her black hat cast a shadow over eyes that once smiled freely but hadn't in years. She came to sell the last of her cattle, but deep down she came for answers. Her husband's death, officially a robbery gone wrong, still clawed at her bones. She adjusted her gloves and walked toward the sheriff's office. Across the street, a painted sign swung in the breeze, the Red Dust Saloon. From inside came the faint hum of a woman's voice, a song that didn't belong in a place. Inside the Red Dust Saloon, Rose Delaney sang to an audience that wasn't listening. Men talked over her tune, boots clattering, cards shuffling, whiskey pouring. Her song was soft but stubborn, a melody about freedom, loss, and wide open skies. She sang because silence was worse. From the corner of her eye, she saw the sheriff's reflection in the mirror behind the bar. He leaned on the post outside, watching the street with a calm she didn't trust. Her heart stumbled. She knew that face. She'd once called him Eli, back when she thought love could tame a man like that. Rose's hands trembled, but her voice didn't break. She'd left him and a trail of broken men behind. If he'd found her here, it meant one thing. June Avery didn't belong in Dust Creek. She was supposed to be miles away by now, halfway to the border. But her horse had thrown a shoe, and she'd taken a job, cleaning stalls behind the saloon to earn a few dollars. She was still holding the pitchfork. When the gunfire started, she peeked through the cracked stable door and saw 2 men, crouched behind barrels, rifles ready. One spat tobacco and muttered, "Eli wants her alive. The others don't." June didn't think. She just acted. She shoved open the door, swung the pitchfork with every ounce of fear and fire in her, and caught one man off guard. The other turned, eyes wide, gun rising. A single shot echoed, and he fell, dead before he hit the dirt. The shooter was a woman in black. Clara Boone. Their eyes met, one fierce, one frightened. For a heart, the street erupted in thunder. 5 riders tore through town, their bandanas pulled high, rifles flashing in the morning sun. Clara fired first, dropping one from his saddle. Rose ducked behind a water trough and returned fire. June, still shaking, reloaded with trembling hands, her face streaked with dust and fear. For a moment, they fought like strangers. Then something clicked, a rhythm, a wordless trust. Clara covered Rose's flank. Rose pulled June behind a wagon before another bullet could find her. When the smoke cleared, only silence remained. The riders were gone or dead. The town, what was left of it, stared in disbelief. 3 women had held off. They didn't stop until the sun was low and the desert turned red as fire. The horses slowed on a ridge overlooking endless nothing, sand, stone, and sky. The silence was thick. The women dismounted, breathing hard. Rose broke it first. "Who the hell are you 2? "Clara Boone," said the woman in black. "Widow, rancher, out for justice, June Avery," whispered the youngest. "Runaway." "Rose Delaney," the singer said, brushing dust from her dress. "Outlaw, lover of bad ideas." Clara managed a half smile. "Then we've got plenty in common." They made camp under a crooked mesquite tree. Night fell heavy, and the desert came alive with whispers. Wolves in the distance, wind through canyon stones. The fire flickered low, casting orange across their faces. Clara stared into the flames, her thoughts heavy with ghosts. Rose leaned against a saddle, cleaning her revolver, her song now a low hum. June wrapped herself in a blanket, trying to sleep, though every sound made her flinch. They didn't yet know that a bounty had been placed on all 3 of them. 1 dead, 2 alive. They didn't yet know that Elias Ward was riding with 10 men by dawn, following the trail they'd taken. They didn't yet know that the Devil's Road wasn't cursed by ghosts, but by the men who died trying to own it. But they would. And when they did, the West would never forget the day 3 women took the road no man dared to ride. The morning came hard and bright. The desert light burned away the night's calm, revealing miles of endless rock and ruin. Clara woke first. She watched the horizon, where the wind carved shapes through the sand. For a moment she thought she saw riders, but it was just the shimmer of heat, Rose stirred next, groaning softly. Remind me why I let you talk me into this. Clara smirked faintly. Because going back isn't an option. June poured what little water they had left into 3 tin cups. If we keep heading south, there's a spring marked on your map, she said, trying to sound braver than she felt. Clara nodded. Then south it is. They saddled up. The trail ahead twisted through narrow canyons where the sun barely reached the ground. Every sound echoed, hooves, wind, heartbeats. The Devil's Road wasn't just dangerous. It was watching. At a bend in the canyon, June's horse reared, nostrils flaring. She pointed at something half buried in the sand, a wagon wheel shattered and charred. They stopped at the remains of the wagon. Clara dismounted, brushing dust from a rusted locket lying near a skull. She opened it. Inside, a faded picture of a woman and child. Rose looked away. People keep chasing hope down this road and end up ghosts. Clara's hand tightened on the locket. Then we make sure we don't join them. The wind shifted, carrying a sound that didn't belong to the desert, the rhythmic drumming of hooves. Distant but steady, June froze. Someone's following us. Clara's eyes narrowed. Not someone. Him. Rose's expression darkened. Elias Ward. Without another word, by dusk they reached the edge of a dry riverbed. Exhausted, they dismounted, letting the horses drink from a shallow pool. The sun bled into the horizon, setting the sky ablaze with orange and crimson. Clara spread the map again, tracing a trembling finger toward a mark labeled Dead Man's Spring. We camp here tonight. We'll reach it by morning. Rose knelt beside her, eyes softening. And after that? Clara hesitated. After that, we stop running. June looked between them. You mean face him? Clara nodded slowly. If Elias wants a fight, he'll find one. For a long moment, none of them spoke. The silence felt sacred. Then Rose reached for her guitar, strumming a quiet tune that drifted through the cooling